or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
We unleash the Wolf Pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolfe. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolfe.
There he is, locked and loaded and ready to go. How you feeling today, my man? How you feeling?
Good. How you feeling?
I'm feeling like, I don't know, everybody's riding my coattails. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
Everybody's starting to call Tua Montana. You can't steal that shit from me.
Hey, I will say you were probably, maybe other than Nick Hicks, his trainer, one of the earliest I've seen on the Tua is elite boat, and you stuck with it throughout. So this is your time.
No, but you're stealing my Montana line now.
Yeah, I got
that
you.
Shit ain't, no. You don't do that. Because I called him Montana when everybody is shitting on him.
Right.
Okay.
People laugh at you.
Before he slung it last year. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because, dude, go back, go to the videos. It's there. At the end of his first season, I said he was a star. You just need to put people around him, bro. You got to put people that know what the hell they're doing. Yep. And you were there in the press room. Yep. Beasley and I was going back and forth. I said, hey, bro, I think he's Montana. And I said it right in the middle of that press room. And I'm sure half that press room was like, oh, what an idiot. That's fine. It's all good, bro. It's all good. That's fine with me. I don't have a problem with that. You know what I mean? Because in the end, I kind of know what the hell I'm usually looking at. When it comes to football, I'm pretty freaking good, dude. You know, I hate to rub my own ego or whatever, but I'm pretty good when it comes to covering this damn sport, you know, and I had to fight that. It's the same thing, bro. I told people Tannehill would never be that guy because the reason why I knew Tua was going to be a star is, look, it's really easy to find the guy that has 3-4 seconds to throw and all kinds of space and a running back that's getting 150 yards for you. And you're going to be able to succeed like that. What I loved about Tua was his first year, it was all chaos.
Right.
Everything was chaotic. Your coaching was chaotic. Your head coach was chaotic. Your offensive line was chaotic. Your running game was chaotic. Your passing game was chaotic. And yet he still won more than he lost. He still threw more touchdowns than interceptions. And yet he rose above the garbage that you had. So I just said to myself, imagine if you actually put like real things around him. You'll start seeing the stuff you saw at Alabama because that's who he is. And I'm really happy that it's kind of already it's starting to turn that corner now. And people are starting to give him the respect that he deserves.
Yeah. Tua's been playing this way for a while. But
you've been saying it on NFL Network for a while.
I haven't been, like I said, I can't say I'm driving the train like you are, but I've been at the front, one of the first two rows. And so the reality is that it shouldn't surprise people. I think that narratives are changing. And I tell you that I said this at NFL Network, I think last week, even before they had the 70-point game, right? I think what hurts Tua in perception is some people still are viewing him in the lens of the what would I call BMM, before Mike McDaniel era, the first 2 years of his career, where it was all the conversations were, is he going to be able to play the fourth quarter, or is Flo going to bench him for Fitz? You know, what is going on with, he had some struggles against a Vic Fangio defense, oddly enough, in a couple games. And so people were wondering, is he good enough, right? This is a completely different player, a completely more confident player. And a large part of it's Mike McDaniel, but a large part of it is Tua. Tua has evolved his own self, his game, his confidence. He walks around different. He's had swag different. This is a different dude. the after Mike McDaniel Tua is a different quarterback. And so if you look at the lens of since Mike McDaniel arrived, Tua has played like a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. It's that simple. And I don't think that enough people are ready to go that far because of 2 things. One, they still view him in the lens of the first 2 seasons. And 2, they're waiting for the injury. They're waiting for the injury, the if. Oh, well, we can't consider him in the group of the not Mahomes, he's in a different level, but we can't consider him in the group of the Burrows, the Allens, the Herberts, the Josh, the Jalen Hurts, those type quarterbacks, because he's going to get hurt. What if he doesn't? What if he plays all 17 games? Then there's no longer an excuse. I think the excuse early on was that he can't play 4 quarters. Then it was he can't throw the deep ball. And now the only one left, the last one, literally the only thing is, can he stay healthy?
Yeah, durability. That's his only
durability. And if he does that, obviously that's a full career thing. But if he does that this season and shows he can play all the games and the way he's playing, it's hard for you to get hurt if you don't get hit.
Yeah.
And so,
but again, go back to some of our conversations when I was basically getting pissed at him when he was getting hurt. It's why. What did I kept saying? He's holding on to the ball too long. Get rid of it.
Yes.
How many times did I tell you and all the other guys, bro? Marino made a living of getting rid of the football in 2 seconds.
He leads the NFL in time to throw once again, which I said this stat 2 or 3 times last week, and I don't think people really understood the significance of it. And I think I said it on here. He leads the NFL once again in time to throw, but also yards per attempt. So he has thrown it quicker than any quarterback in the league, which usually means the dunks to the running back or the little screens or just dink and dank. But he's also thrown it deeper than every quarterback in the league. Those things don't typically go together. Typically, quick throws mean short throws. And deep throws.
I wish they would do this. Go back to Marino and do the same timing digital crap that they do now. Yeah. And you're going to see a lot of similarities. Take it from an old guy.
Yeah.
You're going to see the same things.
Okay.
Marino and Tua are alike in this sense. Okay. Not the height, not the arm strength, not nothing. And not even athleticism, because actually Tua's a little bit more athletic than Marino. But there's a lot of things they're not alike. Okay. All right. But the one thing they're exactly alike, the radar. They read, decipher, and deliver super quick. And when you do that, your defense is screwed. Your ends cannot ever get there. It's impossible. You know what I mean? And so that's where, that's the trick for him. Don't hold on to the ball, dude. You're good enough. You're one of those elite guys. So you don't need to, oh my God, I need this down desperately because I'm not a great quarterback or whatever. No, dude, you can live for the next play. Plus, you got a guy that's going to go for it on 4th down all the time.
Right.
Buy you an extra down too, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But him and Marino have that same radar that they really quick. They read quick. That's what's going on with the Wilson kid. That's what's going on with Justin Fields. That goes on with a ton of quarterbacks around the league. Guys that we've had here forever, whether it's John Beck or Cleo Lemon or whatever, that the processing part of it, their processor is a lot slower. They have like this AMD processor that's really slow, and then Tua's got the latest Intel, and so it's like really, really quick, that kind of deal. And that's the difference there, bro.
Absolutely.
That's the key.
His anticipation, his processing, his accuracy is among the best in the NFL, and that is his superpower. And he takes advantage of that completely. And people always wonder. One thing I thought was interesting, I asked Mike McDaniel about this Monday, about the motion, right? Because that's the new hot thing. Everybody wants to know more about the motion, including myself, right? What Mike McDaniel said was interesting. He's like, first of all, the motion isn't new. We were doing the motion last year, but the motion wasn't as intriguing because we had so many pre-snap penalties. So it wasn't clean. And so, like, sometimes you'd see the success, sometimes you see a false start or a legal motion or something like that. It just was really choppy. And so they were doing motion. It just wasn't unstoppable like this. And he mentioned just kind of how it may have been tough at times to keep pushing through but at some point it clicked for everyone. It's a long learning process. And he said Tua deserves a lot of the credit for that because Tua has to engineer the communication for all of the motion to get the play in from the line of scrimmage quickly. You notice they haven't had any delay of games this year. That was an issue last year. He's getting the play in quickly. He's getting the motion. They had one play the other day where you saw 3 players do motion pre-snap, and obviously not at the same time, but you do one motion here, this guy gets set, this motion here, and then one is a snap. That's 3 different motions that Tua's got to signal and know what every route's going in 30 seconds. That shows you an ability to comprehend information, to process, and to deliver quickly. Because a lot of times all that information makes you think, it makes you slow. For Tua, he can do it all fast, and that's an underrated asset he has.
Being old gives you a little perspective watching a lot of football. And this is why I always looked at Tua from that first year. And I'll give you great examples. Go look at Steve Young in Tampa and then go look at him in the LA Express or after he left Tampa that he got traded to San Francisco, he was a completely different quarterback. Rich Gannon bounced around a little bit in the league. Couldn't find his home, didn't find the right system. Kansas City, Minnesota, all that kind of was a journeyman. Well, then he lands in the right area in Oakland with the right coach, and he becomes an MVP. Okay, right. Drew Brees couldn't figure shit out for 3 years, and then it took him the 4th year for the light to come on, and then in New Orleans he became a Hall of Fame quarterback with the right things around him. Kurt Warner was one guy in Arizona, another guy in the New York Giants, and another guy with the St. Louis Rams. So he leaves the Rams and he goes to the Giants. He looked completely out of place, out of whack. And then he goes to Arizona and he's got a different coach that understands his game. And all of a sudden he's taking Arizona to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So that's how I saw Tua, the same way that he was a quarterback that was in the wrong situation because the people around him really didn't know what the hell they were doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, then your player's not going to succeed. And it doesn't matter what scenario it is. If you're Steve Young and you would have stayed in Tampa, you would have never made it to the Hall of Fame because you would have been stuck in that hellhole named Tampa. At that time, Tampa was a hellhole, And so a lot of times environment is so important. And I think it's happened to all of us in one point in our lives that we worked somewhere where it was toxic. It wasn't good. You knew you weren't getting anywhere or anything like that. You know what I mean? Kind of like QAM, shit like that. It happens, and you want to, hey man, listen, I can be brutally honest nowadays. I don't give a crap nowadays, okay? I control my own destiny. These fools don't control my destiny ever again. But, it's one of those deals, and I think that's why I looked at him differently every single time. I never thought he was the problem. I always thought the people around him was the problem. And thank the Lord that Chris Greer fixed it and that Mike McDaniel was the solution because, brother, that's amazing, man. That this turnaround has been.
It's the best story in the NFL so far. And the crazy part is they were good last year. So it's not like this is all of a sudden a 180. It's just the completion of the wheel. They might have went like 120 last year. This is the last 60 degrees we're seeing with the turn. And so it's still a long ride. It's only 3 games. So I don't want to.
But it's what you were talking about, dude. On offense, they're no longer thinking. They're doing it.
Yes,
it's all natural to them.
It's natural.
And know exactly, because playing the line on this scheme is not easy.
Right.
It's actually really difficult because you're moving around a lot. You're going to the second level. You're pulling. You're doing all kinds of shit. And if you're the quarterback, you've got all this motion. And you've got to know exactly that all this motion, where these guys are going to end up and the timing of it and all that. So it's like a car that inside the engine, the cogs and everything are all going in one. Well, last year, the engine wasn't as smooth because everybody didn't know what the hell to do. Tyreek, Tua were admitting that they didn't know the playbook. And that's probably everybody on that team, probably, except maybe Teron Armstead. Like everybody else probably was struggling with the damn playbook.
Yeah.
And then now they're no longer
It can be a complex offense.
Yeah. By the way, this will happen for Fangio next year.
Yeah.
Okay. This year, he's still learning his players. Players are learning him. He's got to figure out who stays, who goes. At the end of the year, just like McDaniel, he'll clear out some of the guys. He'll bring in some new guys. And then all the guys that were here last year, we're going to know the defense inside and out by next year. That's just the way it goes, dude. You know, it's normal. You know, can't do anything about it.
Again, it's still early. It's only 3 games, but you got to include the Dolphins as one of the top. I tweeted it last night, one of the top 3 teams in the league. They played that way. I mean,
San Fran, Philly, right? San Fran, Philly,
Miami, San Fran, and Philly. I mean, you could probably put Kansas City in that argument because they're the defending champs. They have Patrick Mahomes. They're probably definitely top 4. You might argue they may be ahead of maybe Philly if you don't believe in Philly for whatever reason because they've started slow. But to me, Miami's in that group. Like if I were to say, looking at the first 3 weeks, who are my final 4 teams? I would say Miami and Kansas City in the AFC Championship, and Philly and San Fran in the NFC Championship. And it's a long season. Injuries happen. Teams go up and down. But to me, that is the 4. And I can't wait to this Buffalo game because this is their chance to do a true measuring stick because everybody in the offseason, except myself.
No, this is the nail in the coffin.
Yes. So remember when we were thinking
you have arrived. This is the one that says you have arrived.
Yes, because remember this offseason, you were asking me, and I'm guessing you asked a lot of your other guests, who would win the AFC East. And I think everybody had a lot of different answers. And across the nation, most people picked the Bills or the Jets. I'd say 95% of the people picked the Bills or the Jets. But you picked the Dolphins, and I picked the Dolphins. And if you remember right, I said that if Tua stays healthy, with that caveat that everybody hates, but if Tua stays healthy, they are the best team in this division, and they should win this division. And I think this is the game to prove that. You know, it's out on the road, but it's not in the snowy Buffalo. It still should be relatively 50, 60 degrees. And right now, your quarterback looks like the better quarterback that's playing right now.
Oh, he's the better passer.
Yeah,
he's the better passer.
Josh Allen's still throwing a bunch of picks. Josh Allen's legs obviously are extreme weapons still. And Tua's not going to run to that capacity.
I think Tua's already proven, period. He's a better passer than Josh Allen because Josh Allen has never, ever, ever, ever been as consistent as Tua is delivering the football. Is he the better quarterback, Josh Allen? Of course, you have to give it to him because he has the overall record. He puts his legs into it and all that other stuff. And what he's accomplished, he's still the better quarterback right now until Tua starts beating him consistently. Then he can take the crown. But I will argue Tua is a much better passer than he is actually because the accuracy, the ball placement, the consistency of it, Josh Allen could never do that, not even in his dreams, because that's not who he is. He's still not an accurate passer, dude. He's still not.
If you look at the completion numbers, it's pretty night and day, right?
It's just he still sprays balls. You know what I'm saying? It's just like this guy is at another level. By the way, how about this stat that came out? The Dolphins have 130 points and 1,651 total yards through the end of week 3, which is the most in the NFL since 1970. Wow. Miami is 11-1 in games that Tua has started against teams with the coach that has won a Super Bowl, including 10 wins in a row. He has won against Bill Belichick 5 times, Sean Payton twice, Sean McVay, John Gruden, John Harbaugh, and Mike Tomlin. His only loss was December 3rd, 2020 to Andy Reid, and that's because he had Flo that he had to carry his ass. The next time he meets Andy Reid with Mike McDaniel, that might be a different story, but
can you list those coaches for me again? You said John Harbaugh.
Yeah. Let me give it to you one more time.
Belichick 5, Sean Payton 2,
5, Sean Payton twice, Sean McVay, John Gruden, John Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin, and his only loss is to Andy Reid.
Gotcha. Wow.
That's just stupid, bro. That's just badass, man.
Yeah.
That's absolutely badass. You're beating Super Bowl winning coaches.
Yeah, Belichick, Sean Payton, Sean McVay, John Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin. That's a great five-man crew right there that you beat 10 times combined.
Yeah, John Harbaugh, John Gruden, Sean McVay, Sean Payton, and Bill Belichick.
So is that 11?
And Mike Tomlin.
Okay, so it's 11 total, 10 in a row.
Right, gotcha. 11 total, 10 in a row.
Gotcha.
11 and 1, but he's won 10 in a row right now.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah, that is as impressive as it gets. Are you expecting Waddle? I know he said yesterday he's in the concussion protocol.
I think he'll be back. So here's the thing. The Dolphins are going to be very careful. The Dolphins are going to be very careful with the concussion protocol for obvious reasons. Last year was a nightmare. And so you're not going to hear Mike McDaniel ever say officially, we expect him to play Sunday while he's still in the protocol, right? But yesterday was the closest he probably could get to that, saying we're very optimistic on how he's healing and progressing, and kind of left it at that. And so Waddle, from what I was told, and I reported this Sunday, was in the latter stages of the concussion protocol as of Saturday, and he was in great spirits. He had no setbacks. He just couldn't get to the final step to clear it in time for the game. And so whether that's step 4 or step 5, he was in the latter stage, and contact practice is that final stage. He's got to be able to practice without that red jersey. And I'd imagine that happens Wednesday, 24 hours after, no symptoms, you're cleared. And then maybe by Thursday, we see him officially cleared and good to go by Sunday. That to me is my envisioning of the timeline. And so I think you do see Waddle. And it's crazy to think just how much they did offensively this week without Jalen Waddle. Like, when you think about all the numbers you just said stat-wise, 70 points, and you don't have a top 10 receiver out there with you, just imagine how bad it would have got if Waddle was there.
By the way, is this the greatest celebration ever?
Yes. And so what's
here?
I actually went to the Monday press conference to find some background here. And if you guys are curious about the story here, Austin Jackson says Tyreek Hill puts the celebration in Friday, right before their walkthrough. And he said it takes us like 5 seconds to get it. They get it down. The defensive players are watching them like, what are they doing? Practicing this celebration. And they get it on and they kill it. They're in rhythm. You see Tua, he's just vibing, he's flowing. But the most hilarious thing, you see Robbie Chosen just watching. Apparently he was not involved in this meeting. He's just standing there watching. And maybe he didn't get the full note that he was going to be called up that week, so he didn't want to get involved yet. But Christian Wilkins found his way in there trying to make some move. But Chosen is just, I don't know if he's just grading their celebrations or getting a good view.
Well, hey, listen, they had a good group there, I would imagine. Yeah. I could see Armstead was flowing, all that.
Yeah, they were smooth.
Yeah, they were great. It looked fantastic, dude. That was like that to me. That was like the greatest touchdown celebration I've ever seen. It was so cool, and it just looked slick, At this, and by the way, ballsy. You did that shit in the first half, bro.
Absolutely.
You didn't do that shit in the fourth quarter when the game is over, out of hand, out of reach. You did that shit in the second quarter where they could still go into the half and sit and get pissed off and come out, but they were overmatched. I mean, they had no answer for anything. Sean Payton got so out coached in that game, it's not even funny. Okay. I know they were outclassed anyways as a team because Miami clearly has better talent than Denver, but wow, Sean Payton was not ready for anything.
And what's so interesting, I'll share this with you here because there was a lot of questions about whether Mike McDaniel should have gone for the field goal in the record, right? And he took that route. It was classy. I don't know if I would have done it that way, and maybe not everybody would have, but he had his way, and I love what he said about it. It's so intriguing because if you think about the underlying layers of that, he had every excusable reason to do it in that game. Sure. Remember, this is the team that Sean Payton criticized Tua and said that he would be benched by the end of the season. Remember, the Broncos fired both Butch Berry and Vic Fangio, and they also fired Nathaniel Hackett, who is one of Mike McDaniel's good friends in the Shanahan coaching tree. And Peyton, as well as his Tua criticism, went out and called Hackett one of the worst coaching jobs in NFL history, which got a lot of outrage. And so there's a lot of ties there that it would have seemed easy for McDaniel to be like, let me get one back up on these dudes, like they deserved it. So for him to take that route out, I think says a lot about his ability to contain himself. I don't know if I would have been able to contain myself given all those circumstances.
Oh no, I mean, I'm with you. It would have been hard sending the message. I have no problem him not doing it, to be quite honest. I think it's the classy thing to do.
Yep.
In a way, Sean Payton does deserve it, and I get all of that. Okay, he does deserve it, but you're also doing it to the players.
Yep.
And they don't deserve it. And let me tell you something. By not doing it also shows you had the power to do it.
Right.
Shows you could have done it if you wanted to. And so by sending the 50 burger message already as it is, that's more than enough. And the fact that you won 70-20, that's more than enough. So he had the power and he didn't use it. That might be even more threatening than actually doing it and scoring the 73.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. By the way, just another fun one for you.
That's a good stat. That is a good stat. 69 all season, 3 games. 70 games total. And the thing about it is the Broncos offense actually wasn't awful. No. They just got creamed, and so they had no choice but to pass the ball.
But Russell's not playing with magic. That's what made Russell. That he did that stuff that you got there, but then he also had the magic. And it's a Tyler Lockett. It's what's the Baldwin, the terrific slot receiver.
Lockett is the one. It used to be Doug Baldwin. Now it's DK Metcalf, obviously,
and DK Metcalf after. But for years
it was Baldwin.
Doug Baldwin downfield or Lockett or somebody else, and he'd make the big play. And that's just not there right now in that game. It just looks like he's moving the football and they're doing all right, but that's good, dude. If you're playing against the Jets or something, a team that doesn't have an explosive offense, if you're playing against Kansas City or you're playing against Miami, this is your offense. I'm sorry, dude. You're not going to be able to hang with the. I know because I'm a Dolphin fan. I've had that kind of offense for many, many years now.
Right.
Good enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's rough. It's rough. All right. What do you got going on the NFL Network so folks can check you out, my friend?
Yeah, I will be on NFL Network tonight, Total Access, talking a little Dolphins. And so I'll be around the facility this week. It's a big week for Bills week. Christian Wilkins said yesterday, I love Josh Allen. That's my guy. And so I'm eager to see that battle. And so you'll catch me talking some Dolphins this week and, probably a lot this season.
Yes, no doubt about it. I'm gonna definitely talk a lot of Dolphins because the boys. I got my Airbnb in my car already in Vegas. All right, Sam. I'm set already. The only thing I need to get is the flights. So I'm deciding: do I get the flights and just pay for the insurance? Right. So that way I can cancel it. Worst case scenario and just lose the insurance. What do you think? Should I do it that way or wait till I'm closer that I know? But then the tickets will be much more expensive too.
That's true. Especially coming from Miami, where the team will be there. So the only thing I would say is, can you get a refundable ticket?
Yeah. I got. You pay for that insurance.
Okay, that's how you make it refundable. Okay, but like there are some airlines that let you get if you do like the next level up from like whatever the lowest level, you can get the refundable version. Yeah, you pay maybe, I don't know, what, an extra $50, $60, $70, something like that, and you get a refundable version versus the non-refundable. And so you don't get your money back, but you get your flight credit for a future flight. So if you're paying $500, you get a $500 flight credit to use for the next year. So that's an option.
It's gonna happen, bro. They've got the team, bro. They've got the team. I think I got a good feeling about this, man. Good feeling. I'll be in Vegas this weekend doing our Dolphins pre and post game show from a Dolphins bar in Las Vegas. Tommy Rock.
Wow. Yeah.
That
should be fun. That should be fun.
Yeah, we're going to go for a showtime for the Canelo fight also at the same time. Ooh. Plus, I'm going to see you too at the Sphere opening night, baby, on Thursday night.
That's going to be awesome.
I'm gonna have a magical weekend with you.
I was about to say we're gonna see if you wake up
a world championship fight, and then the Dolphins and the Bills.
Let's see if you wake up for the show out there. That's gonna be early wake up times.
Oh yeah. We'll be fine. We'll get through it, bro. Hey, listen. The beauty is I haven't had a real job in 33 years.
Yeah,
that's the way I look at it, dude. Okay,
yeah.
I ran a supermarket for a couple years before I got into this business. Trust me, I know what real work is like.
Right.
I don't ever want to go back to it. Okay.
Right.
All right, my brother. God bless. We'll catch up later on in the week.
Sounds good.
This has been the KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL insider Cameron Wolfe. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
This is the Big O Show. This is the